Before the coronavirus shut down the season, there were many exciting moments and interesting storylines. But on the other hand, there have also been some moments that were underwhelming, including many players who fell well short of expectations. What is up with it, everybody? My name is Luke, and in this video, I'm going to go over 10 different players who disappointed me this season. These players all underachieved in my eyes regardless of expectations that were set. They were listed arbitrarily, which means that the order I go by will be nothing in particular. First of all, honorable mention, or I guess unhonorable mention, to Thon Maker, whom unfortunately, there is no hope left for. I thought that maybe he could have a chance to become a star in Detroit, but clearly that's not happening. Remember, this is a player that Kevin Garnett said would become MVP one day. Of course, some of this might be because he lied about his age and is actually a few years older than he claims to be, but that's a story for another time. But anyway, let's get started with the actual list. The first player that I want to talk about is Kevin Knox. But the truth is, pretty much the whole Knicks team has been pretty disappointing and awful. But Knox himself has been particularly bad, I think, averaging even fewer points than his rookie season, and in terms of efficiency, just as bad as then as well. For most of the season, he came off the bench behind Marcus Morris, but in hindsight, I think they should have played Knox more with Barrett and Randall. Despite being strong and athletic, he can't make shots anywhere, having a true shooting percentage of 47%. And who knows if he will actually get better with the situation he's been stuck in. Next up on the list is Lauri Markkanen, who's had a pretty unspectacular season, especially to start. Many people, myself included, believed that he would have a breakout season this year. His first couple of seasons were super promising, but now he's having the worst year of his career, averaging a career low in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage. It looked like Markkanen lost a lot of his aggression and confidence, as he hasn't been posting up much or driving in, and seems okay with just sitting on the arc like a Lego. Now this would usually be fine, but to make things worse, this is his worst season in 3-point shooting percentage. Besides, given how his young career started, people are hoping that he wouldn't just become a Ryan Anderson on offense. It is a little weird though, because the other young players on the Bulls like Levine, Carter Jr., and White all had very solid seasons. Of course, he's still young and has time to improve, but unfortunately may not receive the big contract extension he could have received if he had played better. Hopefully he can bounce back next year and get his paycheck when his rookie contract is up. I still believe in him. The next player I want to talk about is Kyle Kuzma. Now Kuz has had some good games and some bad games so far this season, and it's pretty obvious that he struggled to fit into his new role. Kuz has been playing less because of him being back up to Anthony Davis, and he's averaging a career low in points. Technically, he hasn't gotten that much worse, as his per 100 possession stats are still pretty similar to before. But Kuzma hasn't been shooting the ball very well, which is something the Lakers needed him to do. Now that the Lakers have had a successful season, there are questions surrounding what his role should be on a championship caliber team. When he's not scoring, what exactly does he provide? The Lakers fans have to hope that he can at the very least bring in the hustle consistently when the playoffs come around. The fourth player I'm going to talk about is Mike Conley, who until more recently into the season was absolute cheeks, and even then wasn't super good after he returned from injury. Prior to the All-Star break, Conley was shooting below 40% from the field and overall looked like he lost a lot of his explosion, not to mention his usual floater game stopped working. He was also struggling to finish near the rim as well as in mid-range, shooting a below average 57% at the rim and a measly 34% from 10 to 16 feet. Overall, he looks nothing like the player he was in Memphis, especially last season, and if the Jazz want to remain competitive in the West, Conley must play better. In fact, an interesting statistic is that the Jazz have a better offensive rating without Conley than with. In the 5-man lineup with the Utah starters, minus Conley and plus Royce O'Neal has an impressive net rating of plus 14, one of the best in the league. He's only 32, so it's not terribly old, but certainly not getting any younger. Next up on this list is Gary Harris. Now remember a few seasons ago when Harris was supposed to be the star player next to Jokic? It was not long ago when Harris was improving rapidly, averaging 18 points on a very impressive 60% true shooting in the 2017-18 season, not to mention being a solid perimeter defender as well. Last season, he was dealing with injuries and did not play that well, so I was banking on him having a bounce back year this time around. but that has not happened, as he's been averaging the fewest points and worst efficiency since his rookie year. To make matters worse, this season has him with his lowest usage rate of his career. While defensively, Harris has still been his usual self, his regression on the other end of the court has many disappointed. From the eye test as well, Harris is much less involved in the offense too, not getting as many touches compared to the past. But who knows, maybe he still hasn't fully recovered from his injuries. Regardless, however, the rest of Denver has been rooting for him, and hopefully he can step up for them. Eric Gordon has been a disappointment for the Rockets this year. He usually has been the third option for the team since he joined, being both a starter and a sixth man for them, and he can fulfill the role of a spot-up shooter and scorer for the team, and was awarded a 4-year $75.6 million extension this past offseason. But this season, he hasn't been good at all, aside from scoring a career-high 50 points in that one game. To be fair, he did have a knee injury that sidelined him for like 6 weeks, but that doesn't excuse a career low in true shooting and only 32% from 3 when that's your main job on offense. He was even worse to start the season, as prior to his injury, he was shooting a terrible 31% from the field, 28% from 3, and averaging fewer than 11 points. That's pretty pathetic if you ask me. If the Rockets want to remain competitive, Gordon definitely needs to step up. Myles Turner has been pretty disappointing this season as well. Don't get me wrong, defensively, he still looks great, but offensively, not so much. He hasn't really improved much since his rookie year on that end. And even though people were hoping he'd become a star and have a breakout year soon, that hasn't happened. This season, Turner has been underwhelming in offense, averaging his fewest points and lowest true shooting since his rookie year. Of course, some of this has to do with Domantas Sabonis having a breakout season and playing much better than him. The main thing with Turner is that I think his role on offense is pretty unclear, as Sabonis is the one that's in the paint, while Turner is supposed to be on the perimeter shooting threes, and barely posts up anymore. Still, he was expected to become a star by now, so maybe what he needs is a fresh start. Perhaps if he gets traded somewhere else, he might improve, who knows? Aaron Gordon is another disappointing player this season. Now I'm kinda cheating here because there weren't really any expectations for Gordon, but still, you know something is up when you're probably most well known for getting robbed twice in the dunk contest. When he was drafted, Gordon was compared to the likes of Blake Griffin or Shawn Marion, but he hasn't shown any signs of improvement despite getting better during his first few seasons. Like Turner, Gordon's role on the team has been really weird, as he shoots a lot when he should be taking more advantage of his athleticism. This season, his scoring and efficiency got much worse, as well as his defense, which was something that stood out for him last year. Of course, the Magic in general are in a questionable spot, as none of their young players made the next jump, so unless they're fine with being a lower end playoff team in the East, they need to make some changes, and perhaps Gordon is a piece to be traded. The second to last player on this list is Draymond Green. Now I'm willing to give Draymond the benefit of the doubt, as he probably was not trying that much this season due to the injuries to Steph and Clay. But still, I was hoping that he'd at least be better as the lone star on the Warriors than how he was last season. But this year, he's basically been a non-factor, with his worst field goal percentage and 3-point percentage since his rookie year, and obviously, nobody expected him to become a 20 points per game scorer or anything like that. But I was still hoping that he would average better numbers as the leader of the team due to the injuries. So, safe to say that he can't really be the type of player to ever carry a team, but honestly, that's fine. I'm sure he'll bounce back when the Warriors are healthy again, and when that happens, the Dubs will be contenders for sure. The last player that's on this list is Ben Simmons, and while Simmons has been a steady player throughout his career, people were hoping that he'd be, well, better than he is right now. It doesn't look like he improved at all since his rookie year, and given that the expectations for him were quite high, it makes sense that many people are getting impatient with him. There has been a bunch of talk of how he's been working relentlessly on his shooting, which is his most glaring weakness. But the problem is, this still hasn't translated to real games, and Simmons basically never shoots them. In fact, the percentage of shots he takes between 0 to 10 feet has increased since his rookie season, and this kills the spacing for the Sixers' offense. Philadelphia's offense is actually worse with Simmons on the floor than without, which is pretty amusing. Also, the main difference between Simmons and a player like, for example, Giannis, is that at least Giannis will still shoot threes to keep the defenses honest. But Simmons doesn't dare to shoot them ever, even when he is wide open. And I don't know, even I'm starting to lose faith. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but at the rate he's going, it feels unlikely to me. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Let me know which players you agree or disagree with, or maybe somebody else that I should have included on this list. And with that, I'm out. See you guys next time.